Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump attended a campaign event in Pennsylvania Monday night, a rout where farmers and manufacturers expressed their concerns about the farming industry. It was here that Trump says farming company John Deere will have to pay strict tariffs if he was re-elected. They said it could not happen here, not to this company, not to this brand, not to the green and yellow machine that has stood for over 185 years as a symbol of American strength. But on May 30th, 2025, John Deere began doing what no one wanted to believe was possible, shutting down production, plants, jobs in the heart of the United States. The same company that helped build the American frontier, the same company that helped feed the world, the same company that weathered every storm, recessions, wars, droughts, now pulling back from the country it helped define. The layoffs have already begun. 600 jobs gone, plants in Iowa, Illinois, and more on the line. And the response from the White House, a threat, a tariff, a showdown. Before we continue, hit that like button to help us beat the YouTube algorithm and to show your support. It started quietly, a disappointing earnings report. A note to investors, a press release no one outside the industry expected would shake the foundations of American manufacturing. Deere's sales were down 18% in the second quarter. Forecasts for the rest of the year were worse. Farmers were not buying. Dealerships were reporting cancelled orders. Inventory was growing, and the people who made the machines, who assembled the iron, torqued the bolts, calibrated the GPS systems, were told to clock out indefinitely. That same week, John Deere confirmed plans to move its small load of production to a facility in Mexico. The news landed like a hammer, and within 24 hours, President Donald Trump delivered the reply. Any John Deere equipment manufactured in Mexico and shipped back to the United States would be hit with a 200% import tariff. First at 11 Deere and Company is responding to former President Donald Trump's threat to put a 200% tariff on products the company tries to sell into the US. No negotiation, no appeal, just a line drawn in red ink. But behind the political theatre is a deeper, more dangerous truth. Because this is not just about one machine line. This is about an economy on the edge, a farm belt under siege, and a global supply chain breaking under pressure. Before we continue, hit that subscribe button to show your support to the channel. Across the Midwest, the signs are everywhere. In Otama, Iowa, welders reporting for calls that never come. In East Moline, Illinois, line supervisors are quietly prepping for deeper furloughs. In Kansas, managers at major dealerships say sales of new equipment have dropped by more than 40% in just 3 months. And what is taking their place? Used machines, 5, 10, even 15 years old, now the hottest commodity on the lot. Farmers are choosing them over brand new tractors, not because they want to, but because they have no choice. Interest rates are high, crop prices are low, tariffs have made new machines more expensive than ever. And the trade war. It is closing markets, raising costs, and killing confidence. This is not just an economic storm, it is a psychological one. In town after town, people are talking about it in hushed tones, around diner tables, in church basement, in union halls. They are wondering if John Deere is pulling back. What does that mean for the rest of us? They are remembering 2008, 2020. And for some, they are remembering 2018, the last time Trump's trade war cost American farmers over $27 billion in lost exports. Back then, it was China. Now it is everyone. Mexico, Canada, Brazil, India. Tariffs are flying in every direction. And for the farmers trying to survive, the future is not just uncertain, it is shrinking. Crop prices have flattened. Fuel and fertilizer are more expensive. Equipment costs are surging. And for the first time in years, even repair parts are backlogged. Some farmers say they are waiting 5 to 6 weeks for replacement hydraulic hoses. A delay that during planting season is devastating, and John Deere knows it. The company has not abandoned the United States. In fact, it has committed to a $20 billion investment in its US operations over the next decade. To gentlemen, and I'm thrilled to announce today that DEAC will be investing at least $20 billion over a very short period of time into the United States, and they may go double or even somewhat more than double that amount of money. A handshake that didn't happen. A deal was signed in silence. Canada is reshaping its trade relationship with the US in ways no one expected. In March 2025, US President Donald Trump unexpectedly announced a 25% tariff on Canadian steel and aluminum, citing national security concerns. The move was seen as a reaction to comments from Ontario's Premier after the province suspended plans to raise electricity export prices to the US. Once Ontario walked back its decision, the US rescinded the tariff. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney responded by declaring that the old relationship is over and accelerated trade talks with the European Union, Japan, South Korea, Australia, and Brazil, signalling a clear move to reduce reliance on the US market. In March 2025, exports to countries outside the United States rose by 24.8%, the second largest monthly increase on record. Exports to the European Union alone jumped 32.0%, the second largest monthly increase on record. Exports to the European Union alone jumped 32.0%, highlighting growing momentum in Canada's trade diversification strategy. The Canadian dollar climbed to its highest level in 7 months, reflecting growing market confidence. For Canadian workers, currency stability and diversified export markets have helped safeguard jobs in key sectors like steel, aluminum, energy, and agriculture. A stronger Canadian dollar has also kept import prices in check, supporting consumer spending. Following the tariff announcement, several industrial US states, including Michigan and Wisconsin, voiced strong opposition. Major corporations like Foxconn expressed concern about the ripple effects on production and supply chains. The US stock market reacted sharply on May 21, 2025. The Dow Jones Industrial Average dropped more than 800 points, about 1.9%, signaling investor anxiety over escalating trade tensions. US pork exports to Canada took a hit, dealing a blow to farmers and agricultural supply chains. The tariffs also pushed up goods prices, squeezing household budgets. Farmers and workers in export-reliant industries faced job and income insecurity, while stock market volatility eroded the value of many Americans' investment portfolios. After a tense start to the year, Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney met with President Trump at the White House on May 6 to discuss reopening negotiations on the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement, USMCA. During the meeting, Carney firmly rejected Trump's offhand suggestion that Canada become the 51st U.S. state, stating that Canada is not a commodity for sale. Canada agreed to resume talks only after the U.S. accepted 3 key conditions: recognition of Canadian sovereignty, a commitment against retaliatory measures, and protection for certain sectors in the revised USMCA. The high-level meeting paved the way for a rebalanced USMCA aimed at mutual respect and fairness. The renewed talks helped stabilize markets and protect key Canadian industries: automotive, steel, and agriculture. For Canadian households, the outcome offered hope for economic stability, manageable consumer prices, and reduced fallout from earlier tariff threats. China and Saudi Arabia are joining forces in an ambitious plan to green the desert worth over $4 billion. Could this desert agriculture revolution reshape global food security and water sustainability? On May 13, 2024, China and Saudi Arabia signed over 70 agreements at the China-Saudi Agricultural Development Forum, totaling more than $4 billion in value. The deals focus on 5 key areas: desert agriculture, deep processing of crops, smart farming, water-efficient irrigation,